In the morning when I rise, give me Jesus.
Good morning. Today we're in Genesis chapters 25 through 27. And there are some interesting things about Isaac's kids. First, just let me tell you, Isaac was 40 years old when he married Rebekah. We had that story yesterday. And it was 20 years after that that they had twins, Esau and Jacob. And Abraham was 175 when he died. He was 100 when Isaac was born. And so Abraham got to see not only the marriage to Rebekah, but also his grandkids when they were born. Well, Rebekah got pregnant, and it apparently was a pretty difficult pregnancy because she was saying to God, "What is going on in my belly? It is a tussle in there." And God said, "Well, Rebekah, you're about to have twins." And he said it this way. He said, "There are two nations in your belly." And it was an interesting prophecy because usually in a Jewish family, the older child is served by the younger. The older child gets the preeminent blessing. But God said it was going to be the reverse this time. Well, Esau was born first, and then Jacob. And we see, I'll show you in a minute, how Jacob received the blessing, and Esau ultimately served Jacob. Well, Esau was a hunter. He would prepare game, and Isaac liked that. And so Esau was Isaac's favorite. On the other hand, Jacob was Rebekah's favorite. He was a thinker. He was a plodder. And we're going to see he was a deceiver. But we learn about Esau is he doesn't really think. He acts before he thinks. And he's a spur-of-the-moment kind of guy. Fly off at the handle. One time he was out hunting and she'd been gone for some period of time and he just came back famished. And Jacob had been cooking soup and Esau said, "Oh, I'm starving. Let me have some soup." And Jacob said, "Well, of course, I'll share my soup with you. But first, you must pledge to me your birthright." Well, here's what I think may be the character flaw or the problem that Esau had. He said, "I'm going to die anyway. And so what good is my birthright? Sure, I'll sell you my birthright." Well, he did and got the porridge and hopefully he liked it. But what I want you to see out of that story is there are so many folks who get discouraged in this realm. There are so many folks who are, I don't know if they're bored or if they're hurt or if things are difficult, and they just decide to not live is a better deal. But God created us not only to live, but live abundantly and live eternally abundantly. And so anyone who comes to the place where they basically have given up, where they say, "I'm going to die anyway, what good is my birthright?" They've come to a place where they don't know God and they don't know that He loves them and cares about them. The problem with Esau was he didn't know God and he didn't know the love that God had for him and that there was life, rich life, a promise for life ahead for him. Well, the end of this story in chapter 27, we see how Isaac was getting old and he was about to pass on. So he said to Esau, "Go get some game and fix me a feast, and then I'll bless you before I die." Well, Rebekah heard that conversation. And so she said to Jacob, her favorite, "I'm going to fix a feast, and then I want you to take it in to Isaac. Tell him that you're Esau so that he will bless you instead of Esau." Well, that's exactly what he did. Isaac believed him, prayed the blessing over him. Shortly thereafter, Esau did show up, and he said to his father, "Can't you give me a blessing too?" And his father said, "The blessing has already been given to your brother." So I want us to see that once the blessing has poured out, it can't be taken back. God says he is a God without repentance. He is a God that once it's declared, it is. Jesus has paid for all our sin. It's done. God's never going to take that back. And so there's nothing but blessing due us as we believe on Jesus. Can you see Jesus and salvation in the Old Testament? You, as a believer on Jesus, get the blessing because God has declared it. Oh, behold that today. Let's talk some more tomorrow about how God has blessed Jacob in spite of the kind of guy that he is. God bless you as you look for God's blessing in your day today.
Give me Jesus. Give me Jesus.